So thank you so much. I think it's a great honor to be amongst all these people. I mean, each one of them are stalwart. Many of them are legends in this part of the world. Some of them are legends across the world. So that's the way it is as far as this business is concerned. This topic is a very interesting topic because it's talking about new age consumer thought processes. Doesn't need to mean that it's only the youngsters who are supposed to be doing that, because I'm sure sometimes the older consumers also teach us new things, sometimes the younger consumers teach us new things. So it's about the new age thought process of customers. The panel has been set up in such a manner that we've got representatives from various industries coming in. So that's going to be even more interesting for each one of us. I'm going to stand and talk from here at various points of time, if it's okay with all of you. I get a chance to then see each one of you. And secondly, I'd like to represent the people in this place when I ask questions, because end of the day, these guys have to go back feeling, "Arey yaar, paisa vasool ho gaya." So I think it's important. But the most important thing is to be, I think, sitting there and keeping your mind operating inside this room, because each one of you spent your day doing various things. You've chosen to be here. So if you have chosen to be here, like I keep telling people, we all trade off in life, right? We can be in various places or we can do various things, but we've taken a conscious trade-off to be here. We might as well spend the time to be available here and to learn in this place what's happening, rather than letting our brain go back in some other part of the world. So do I have that from the audience? Is that okay? Are you available in this room? Mentally? Yes, thank you so much. We will take quick introductions from each one of you, if that's okay, so that it's easy for everybody to know you. A small introduction is there as soon as you came up as to the business that you represent, but a one minute introduction from each one of you would really help. We will start off with Abhimanyu, and then we'll continue.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Abhimanyu Maheshwari. I'm the founder of Zing restaurants. We run a bouquet of F&B brands, but we are most popular for a brand called Rang De Basanti Dhaba, which is amongst the biggest North Indian brand in East India. We run outlets and cloud kitchen listings across 30 locations. And happy to be here.
Thank you. How many of you have eaten at Rang De Basanti? Don't feel shy. Chalo yaar, paisa vasool. At least there is more than 50% people have come in here. Then Dr. Sujit Paul would.
Hi, good afternoon to all of you. I'm part of a company called DavaIndia, the largest private generic retail chain pharmacy that India have at this point of time. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Girish?
Yeah, hi. My name is Girish Krishnan. I am from Amazon Pay. This is really the payments wing of Amazon. So it's a separate company. It's a fintech. It's called Amazon Pay India Private Limited, different from the marketplace. We use the same app as the main Amazon app. So there's a payments icon if you see on the Amazon app. There are a bunch of utility services, bill payments, travel, digital payments, right? The wallet. We operate all of that stuff. A lot of you might have the Amazon Pay ICICI card, which gives you rewards when you shop offline. We operate that. We also offer a lot of merchant services. So we give payment solutions to offline merchants, give affordability solutions. So I manage the merchant services part, which is rewards and payment solutions in the offline world. And that's what I do at Amazon. Thanks.
Thank you. So very clearly he can answer for Amazon Pay. If you ask him too many questions on Amazon, he's not the right person. So I just want to kind of keep it very clear. And I believe that most of you would have some kind of an Amazon account and an Amazon Pay account. Anybody who's never dealt with an Amazon account at all? Okay, you're safe there. So can I get Harsh to talk?
Yes. Hi, good afternoon. This is Harsh Jain from DNV Food Products Private Limited. We are into manufacturing and manufacturing of food products like papad, pickles, sauce, jams, kasundi, vinegar, and spices. So we are dealing with all this entire food range, and we have around more than 100 products and maybe around 200 or more SKUs. We are dealing with all the modern trades across India, barring a few. And in general trade, we are present in Eastern India, and now we are exploring outside East also. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm sure quite a few of you from supermarket trade would definitely know of his products and the others as consumers. Can I get Raunak to?
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Raunak Agarwal from Mumuso Retail Private Limited. So Mumuso is a global lifestyle brand which serves 4,000 products. It's an impulse buying category. I'm sure a lot of ladies and female customers, they must be knowing because our main target audience is females and kids who come across our stores and shop very impulsively, and they enjoy shopping. So recently, in the last, this year, we've opened 20 new stores across India, and now we are in 20 states all across India, and we are doing fantastic. And I just want to say thank you, Calcutta, because we've started our business from Calcutta, and it has always given us a great approach and positive response. Thank you.
Raunak, which was the year that you started the business here in India?
So we started in 2019.
2019. And how many stores now?
35 stores right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just want to reiterate that.
Yeah.
Thank you so
COVID,
much.
So we had to pause 2 years. And then we again
of
restarted
course,
the journey.
Of course. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks. Rochita, you might want to.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rochita Day. I'm a second-generation entrepreneur. I'm here today representing Sreeleathers as a director and House of SL as a founder. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Rochita. I think Rochita, before we came up here, said that she seems to be thinking that she's always present in RAI events and was thinking that she's part RAI. So the fact is that all of you are members, you all own RAI. So we are employees of RAI, but all of you are the owners of RAI. That's the way it is. So thank you so much. So can we get Mr. Shikresh Shah?
Hi, this is Shikresh from Miyamode. Presently, we have around 335 stores in Kolkata and South Bengal. Other than that, we have another 100 stores in Eastern India alone. Our turnover is around 600 crore, and in a year we produce around 1 crore 20 lakh SKU. Because we deal with small item, so we try to be part of everyone's experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Then, of course, Sudeep was sitting at the start, and I didn't know. I'm told that in Kolkata, sometimes you serve sweets first. Is that the way it is? Dessert is served first?
Yeah, when you enter, when you're welcome with desserts.
You're welcome with desserts. So I should have ideally done that, but I followed the rest of the world, and I said dessert last mein serve karenge.
It doesn't matter. In the end, also you end with desserts.
Okay, fair enough. Then I'm not off the whole thing.
I'm Sujit Malik. I belong to Balaram Malik family, and this is we have been there for 138 years now. And now we started expansion very lately, like when I joined in 2003. And it's been very organic, I would say. And we have, my focus is on developing new products, then expanding new stores, more stores. And I'm working on that. We are every day, every season we have new products in our outlet. And maybe that has created this buzz about Balaram Malik. And we are also doing enormous packaging now. We are getting into packaging products, and that is the future. Packaging dessert industry of India is now 5,000 crores, while that of USA is $30 billion. And the chocolate industry is $40 billion. So it is a way ahead for us.
Thank you. I think you reiterated something that I had kind of said before in my opening speech, as to allow the youngsters in the family to do things differently, and you will see businesses looking very different. I think you epitomize that, and most of you actually. She is also come in second generation. So it's the way it is. I think each one of you have come in and started doing things differently to make this opportunity look really large. And I think that's what makes India so wonderful. So thank you for coming in, each one of you. We've got a set of questions that we have with us. Some of them I think we should kind of get away with, and then we go on to the main part. So pehle to thoda sa, the first part is about this whole concept around online, offline, what's happening there. I have my own belief, and my belief is that consumers currently go to whichever place they've got convenience available, and they're not really thinking online or offline. They are thinking, where can I get my things done? And how fast can I get done? And sometimes, where can I get it done cheaply? but not necessarily in that same form, because sometimes they want it really cheap, and they want to go for price. Sometimes they just want it done for time. Sometimes they want everything on, so it depends. Each one of us behave like that, right? At different points, we do different things. So with that in mind, can I get a couple of you to tell me what's happening as far as this whole online, offline is concerned? Any one of you want to take this up? I think Rochita has got some thought around it.
In my opinion, from the perspective as a footwear retailer, the future of retail is blended. You need to find the right balance for you between your offline stores and your online presence. But having said that, there has to be a sense of uniformity. For me as a customer, if I find the slightest discrepancy, I'm very sensitive to it. For example, if the same brand is incentivizing online purchases, I will go to the store to test out the product, but I will end up purchasing it online, which is what is happening. And while it still seems like that's harmless, because at the end of the day, I'm still making that purchase with the brand, in the long run, as an analyst, if I were to study the legitimacy of both the formats, it's going to seem to me that the online presence is stronger than the offline presence. But fact is, if the physical store doesn't exist, that will impact the online performance as well. So yes, we need to find what works for each brand, your online and offline. But there has to be some uniformity in terms of offers offered or prices listed has to be similar online and offline. Even the offering, like the variety of collection, you should have it available in both formats. Preferring one format is only going to dissuade your customers from purchasing from the other format. That's my opinion.
Okay. Does anybody else want to?
Okay, I'll take this because our business is a little different. We work in medicines. So when you work in medicines, the entire equation changes for online, offline. So whilst there are 3 to 4 big players in the country at this point of time, 3 precisely now, earlier it was 4. So there's a dissection that happens. If you see India is dissected into metros where you still have that online push going for medicines. But if you, more and more you get penetrated inside. If you talk of West Bengal, if you go to a place like Bankura, if you go to a place like Kotulpur, if you go to a place like Tarokeshwar, Bardhaman, Durgapur, as you go enter, you will see the offline presence increases of medicines. And that's where the end patients or consumers are more attached to the physicians who are there, and they are more comfortable to buy out from them. And that is the reality. And when you flip it back to places like Kolkata, and if you dissect it into different ways, if you dissect it Kolkata, Howrah, and Hooghly, which is the nearby territories for it, you see there are different buying patterns that happens. So whilst online in medicine is important, a combination of online and offline is the utmost essence at this point of time, but depending on the strata and the location that you're operating at.
Okay, so we had Rochita who was talking about how there has to be a uniform presence online and offline so that customers get similar kind of expectations, similar kind of brand imagery for them. You talked about how sometimes it changes based upon where a customer is. If it's not necessarily in an online heavy kind of a market, then offline is the only real way to really reach those consumers. In other places, it could be a good combination. Take on that. Now,
yeah, I think I hear from both of them that the future is blended in some way. I can talk about my industry. I think, of course, it's the holy grail that we get this unified customer profile where they seamlessly traverse between online and offline. But I think, say, how my restaurants are used, right? There's this online set of customers for whom the metric is convenience, and that's why they will prefer to sit at home, switch on Netflix, and order their tadka and roti, for instance, right? There's this other customer who is seeking out a more experiential experience because he wants his roti kadak, he wants his tadka fresh, and he wants this collective effervescence of sitting in a restaurant, right? And very rarely do these two customers intersect. Of course, our online data is masked because most of our online data is through aggregators. But genuinely, from little data that we have, these two customers rarely intersect. And trying to sort of solve for this intersection is not always a great idea, at least in my
Oh, it's
sector.
an interesting input. So, in his opinion, the two customers are very different. I mean, there could be some intersection. I can for sure, as a consumer, tell you that I am that intersection. Because I do, if I like a restaurant, I like to buy from them online, as well as I'd like to go through the experience. Like you exactly said that, right? Kadak roti bhi chahiye, kabhi doston ke saath bhi baithna hai. And sometimes when you're watching cricket match, you really don't want to move your butt. So you want to be sitting in your house and with all your friends and still buying online. It's an interesting thought.
There'll be a different set of restaurants that you actually go to for offline experience. There'll be a different set of restaurants that you order online from. And there will be, of course,
There would be
this
some
intersection.
Yes,
but yeah.
definitely. I fully agree. Harish.
Yeah, so as I come from a
Harsh,
food
sorry.
background, what I see and what we have observed, convenience has become a new ease for everyone, like 10 minutes delivery. So buying groceries within 10 minutes, no one would have ever imagined. Earlier it was a tedious task, you have to go, you have to purchase and everything. Now within a click, you can get everything at your doorstep. So that convenience is a new change which online has brought. And obviously, but the offline platform still remains because people still want that touch and feel of every product. So if they go and see the product, they can recollect online. So as a trend, as a line which says, "Jo dikhta hai, wo bikta hai." So in offline stores, if your products are well displayed, consumers are aware. Same way as online, you have to be present at the top. You cannot go at the bottom, sit at the bottom, and then say ki yes, the products are not moving. So everything jo dikhta hai, wo hi bikta hai. So you have to be at the top at all the time.
Nice.
Convenience is the factor, basically.
Yeah, I think it's a different kind of an input that you've given us. Is that you could possibly buy things online, but you many a times would like to go offline. That's what you're saying, right? It's a fact. I mean, if it's a particular type of a special item that a customer wants, they'll still go to the trusted retailer nearby, and otherwise they may be very different. I'd like to get Girish's opinion on this, because Girish, you're dealing with many of the offline stores, many. I mean, right? Possibly the largest number that anybody in this place would be dealing with, as well as you know what's happening to consumers online. So what's your take?
See, retail typically works with selection, convenience, and price. Like that's like the mantra, right, which makes retail work. I think what you're probably hearing is there is heterogeneity in terms of how evolved a customer preference is right now. Like you were mentioning, tier 2 cities, customer prefers something else. Tier 1, online familiar youngsters, right? Like they might prefer something else. Similarly, I think there are comments about heterogeneity in terms of the product mix itself. There is grocery, there is, things like appliances where you need a higher amount of touch and feel, right? More involved purchase. I think as a provider of checkout solutions on payment experiences or affordability, what we strive to provide merchants is the ability to offer that choice to the customer. Because ultimately, you can't suddenly force the habit of the customer to change, right, at one point in time. It's a slow evolutionary process. And customer satisfaction is very important. So I think keeping customer choice in the midst of all of those things might be like the most worthwhile thing for us to do. At least as a payment service provider, what we try to do is, if it's an offline store, we try to arm the offline store with a checkout experience. So you can scan a QR code and assume that you get all your credit cards, right? Like ability to pay with the ICICI card or any other card, for example, where you have all the offers right in the store. Now, what that does is it takes away the price differential, if at all, right? Like if you are shopping online, if you are getting that offer, imagine if you get the same offer in the offline store. So we try to make sure that offline and online, there is parity in terms of, the things like payment offers or experiences. For example, the acceptance of different payment methods. So we try to do that and then give the choice to the customer. Then it is up to the brand or the product nuance, right? Or how the offline seller actually pitches it or manages the economics. But I feel like keeping the customer in the center is probably, the way to think about it, because I think that heterogeneity in terms of both products as well as customers is going to remain, right, across industries for a long time.
There's something that always hits me as far as customers are concerned. And I don't know whether I'm talking for all of us here, but we seem to be willing to give away all our details to make payments or to buy items online. But when it comes to offline, we suddenly put up a wall as consumers and we say, "Kyun chahiye mera mobile number?" Is that the reality or is that a myth in my mind?
No, I think, see, what happens is every time you want to give a consent, you think about it. Yeah? So if you've already given a consent to a relationship, right, then that relationship kind of, goes like, I give a bad example, but like, pardon me on this. You really evaluate a person, right? Like, see, during marriage, right, you really figure it out. But then after that, it just becomes a way of life. Unless, that amount of situation comes again, you don't get into that kind of, evaluation. It's a bad example. I'm just like creating a provocative argument, right? So I think payment experience is something like that. Because if you just hop around, right? Like, so your card, the one way of looking at it is like, what offers are in my card is a lot of how people think about it. So that a payment experience and the relationship with your payment method is something very sacrosanct to the customer. So every time you pay, sometimes somebody asks you that, you think about it. But if you are just paying using any app, like a Paytm or a PhonePe or Amazon, right? You don't think, right? Like you just pay using your UPI handle then and there. Because that consent was given at the time when you set up the account. After that, you don't ask. So I think it's just like natural customer behavior. I think they like to trust one provider with the payment like relationship. And at that time, they are willing to take the friction. And then after that, it becomes a matter of trust between that provider and them, right? Like then that is sacrosanct. Every time you reignite that question, people ask that again.
Quite an interesting way of looking at it. Okay, so it's a matter of making sure that you create a relationship in a manner where they are willing to tell you various things. I'd shift the question to a different thing, and I'll ask Sudeep to come in here. This whole thing around customer experience, right? What are the new definitions of customer experience that you are seeing in your business currently? Because what could have been existent 15 years before may not necessarily be the way consumers are expecting business to be today. So what are the newer things that you are seeing? What is it that really people should be using? And after that, I'll come on to Sikesh also, because I think Sikesh also will have some other method of telling what's happening there.
Now this online phenomena is unstoppable and it will ever increase. And you will be happy to know that we were the first sweet shop, Bengali sweet shop to have e-commerce site. And in the beginning also, we were the first sweet shop to have website. And we have always welcomed technology. Like in Calcutta, we were the first to accept credit card and debit card in our store. And in Bengali sweets, in the sweet segment I'm saying. And then Paytm, we have installed Paytm much before demonetization. And when demonetization happened, other companies were like, and during GST also, we implemented GST on the first day of the GST was announced. So we have always welcomed technology. And in online also, we were the first to go hand with Swiggy and Zomato. Swiggy started their online business in Calcutta by offering baked rasgulla with every purchase. So that way, like, I'm always looking forward that online business is like, to me, like another shop to me. It's another segment of business. But we have done something that maybe it is advantage to us or may not be in the future long run. But for the time being, we don't sell all the products in through online. So to experience the subtle desserts, that is mouth-watering desserts, you have to come to the store. And like Nolengu souffle and Rasmalai and all these liquid stuff, maximum of them we don't sell in online store. You have to come to the store. And every now and then, every week, we have some special items that those items are also not online. So you have to come to our stores because we are also opening many stores. So we don't want that footfall to decrease. So online is there. It has to go hand in hand.
So Sudeep, my question is slightly shifted also now, and you may want to think about that. Is the whole customer experience part. So how is that shifting inside the store or online or offline?
Actually, you are not that audible to me.
Yeah, no, what you said, part of it did answer, because obviously the customers and what they expect is changing. But
A lot of experience, the customer experience is changing. A lot of people are actually ordering online, and or they're sending their chauffeur or drivers to a store because of convenience. Of course, this whole online platform is because of convenience, and that way they are missing on many many experience, I would say, but they know what they particularly want. I want this particular stuff from my that shop, and they send their driver or they buy it online, so they know.
no. I think the point that I'm trying to say is, you are having a particular set of stores, let's say 15 years before, right? You are also having stores now. How is it different, in the sense that are customers expecting something different, or would a 15-year-old store and the way they were selling still remain the same currently also?
I would say that we are giving more hygiene, and people are more conscious about hygiene, and the decoration of the look and feel of the store, and how you have presented the items, the packaging. Of course, we have changed. We have made our packaging very niche, and everybody is liking it. The way you serve the product, the plates and the cutlery, crockery, everything matters a lot. Even it's all a part of the branding we have done, and people have accepted it, and they are liking it. That we can find.
Yeah, exactly. I think the expectation for current customers from what you're telling would, like you said, is a lot to do with look and feel. It's a lot to do with hygiene, with that sense of trust comes in because of the fact that they know that it is right. And I think your ability to tell the trust that you can send your chauffeur and get the item actually signifies trust, in my opinion, because otherwise you would yourself go and check. In the olden days, if people had, let's think, go and buy fish, they'd have to go and touch every one of them, see whether it's right. But the day the fish market is of a nature wherein you can send your driver and buy the fish, then it's slightly different, right? You can send your maid anyway, she knows how to buy the fish. But if your driver had to go and buy the fish, that market has to be so trustworthy that you know that he can go and buy the right fish and come back, right? So yes. I think
that trust has to be there, and that trust, I think, comes from the we don't compromise on quality, and that quality and the taste is the last word about in any food product, I would say.
Right, I agree. So Sikresh, what is the customer experience of today? How is it different?
The customer always wanted to be delight in the past, and that's the same for now also. So for us, as I told you, we are selling more than 3 lakh SKU. So we often talk to our colleagues for politician, after every 5 years, there's one election happens. And people come and cast their vote. But for us, every day, 3 lakh plus people are casting their vote for us by spending money. So our responsibility, so that they come again and again and again. So obviously, whatever we do extra, we are now renovating shops, putting stretch bar like horizontal TVs and all, QR code. But the bottom line is the taste of the food. So at the end of the day, we all believe if we make our food with love and affection, it has to taste good. Because that's the way our mothers cook in our home. So we just believe that, and it's simple. We don't want to make it complicated.
Well, I like this thought of you getting a vote every day. I think that's something that we cannot take back with. Walt Disney used to call all his people in the front end as cast members, because he believed that everybody who is working in the front end are like theater artists. Everything has to go well for the customer to feel good. You do one mistake and the whole show goes flop. So this is like that, right? Every day theater.
As far as mistake, we do mistakes. And as we do deal with the mistakes in our family, with our mothers and wives, so the same way our customer deal with us, they complain, we deal with that. So it's part of life. So it's not that we don't have complaint, we have. And so it's part of life, as I told.
So can I get each one of you to tell me what is changing for customers at your front end? And what are you seeing as things that we should know about? Because every one of you have got a very different business.
Yeah.
So can we just
I'll
we've
speak-
got 2 minutes available, but I think that would be really useful.
Okay, so I'll speak on behalf of customers. From my parents' generation, they used to tell me that, we all had the same cold cream. Like every single member of the family used to have the same brand of cold cream. Brand loyalty used to be so high in that generation. And you have a different cream for your foot, different cream for your elbow, and different cream for your face. So my point is customer experience has become so important in differentiating your brand from other brands because there are so many brands available in the market right now. How are you going to differentiate? Just saying, I have beautiful packaging, I'm offering affordable price, I'm giving you good quality is not enough. So having that additional differentiating factor, the customer experience is very important. Something that we are doing in House of SL, it's a new brand, and because I'm still in the stage where I have to establish the brand, we do hosts like micro activities in the store for entire families, whether it's face painting for children, whether there are photo booths depending on the day of the occasion, whether there are free ice cream or we are offering a beverage on special occasions like Poila Boishak, which is Bengali New Year, or whether it is Independence Day. And these things may not be important for the people in this room, but for my customers, they don't have access to a private club where they can go and celebrate these occasions. For them to have a place where they can come with their family and make memories is important, and that is something we need to be sensitive about.
Interesting. I think one is you creating experience happen inside the store. The other thing I loved is this whole thing around different creams, right? I mean, I did speak a bit about is a refrigerator looking the same at the start of my session, but this is your cosmetic section is also not looking the same. Over the last 5 years or 10 years, things have completely changed. The fact that so many beauty companies are getting really high valuations, they're all sought after, again re-emphasizes the fact that slowly customers are getting lots more conscious about every single product that they use. And that makes a big difference. We can go on to Raunak. Raunak, what are the things that you are seeing with consumers now?
See, for Mumuso, it's a very different genre in retail, what I would say. It's an impulse buying, which the country has never seen before. We've just started like 3 years back. Even the trend for wearing neck pillows, they were before sold at higher prices at the airports.
Sorry, which one?
Neck pillows.
Neck pillows, yes.
When you're
neck
traveling
pillows.
in flight.
Yeah,
So
I
I will
know.
give you one of the smallest product example. So they were sold at the airports at prices of 3,000, 4,000 rupees. We are selling the same quality at 300, 400 rupees, a magical pricing. Now the whole India, when they're traveling, they're coming to our store to buy a neck pillow.
Yes.
So very honestly, we're not affected with the online business because we're an impulse buying. A person has to come to our store and we make a relationship very intensely. We always give them a free gift when they are the first customer to our store. We give them birthday offers, we give them birthday discounts. We always propose customers in such a way that whatever they are buying is shipped to them. We are rewarding customers every month, the highest shopper, frequent visitor. We are running the loyalty program very intensely at our store. And we are not successful in online even though we have tried, and I don't have any problem owning this up, because when you are actually buying something online, you actually think of a product and then you go and research it online. But at Mumuso, we are at 4,000 SKUs, which is at a very high quality product, which is at a magical pricing. So whenever you're technically moving inside the store, you're looking at the product and then you're making a decision to buy a product or not. So, and in terms of the retail, I think every brand should have their customer pull and loyal customers. For me, when I'm a consumer, I am going to a store, I'm seeing the product, but if it's available online, I'm definitely going and buying it online. But I'm experiencing the product at the store because it will be delivered to my house. I don't need to carry the baggage anywhere. So that is one of the things that have been changing. So offline presence needs to be there for a lot of brands, and I don't think that we should not open stores. Stores should be open. There will be an experience because every brand now needs the pace to be more creative, to bring more products, to be more adaptive towards the customers, what they are thinking. So I think online and offline both will run parallelly, but yes, online is taking the pace.
Interesting. Raunak, I'm going to ask you a question which you may choose to answer or not. Okay. What are the 4 or 5? Because I always think, and I think many of the friends, people that I speak to, they always say, "Yaar, Mumuso mein gaya." Kyun? Pata nahi, aise gaya. And then you say, "Kya kharida?" "Arey, neck pillow." Neck pillow, even I am one of those guilty who's bought a neck pillow from you. But what are these 4 or 5 products that people buy from you? Because it's good. What are these 4 or 5 top products that people seem to buy from you? Neck pillow to आपने बता दिया, तो हमको मालूम है. Because many of the items, in my opinion, are items that you never thought you wanted to buy. It's like a back burner. But you go there, you see it, and you want to buy it.
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you are right.
So what are these 4 or 5 products? Are you allowed to talk about it?
So whenever I enter a store, for instance, I am also a customer.
नहीं यार, ऐसा नहीं. From your business point of view, what are those top 5 items? Which could be quite interesting because that shows what consumers are doing.
I think a lot of women, see, our first customers are women, okay? So they end up buying cosmetics.
Okay.
They end up buying some or the other cosmetics because we have a wide range of cosmetics at a very magical pricing with a very high quality kind of packaging. And we play the cosmetics with different kind of flavor and fragrances added to it with a Korean touch, made in Korea, and a lot of ingredients which now women are educated and they want to use those products. So when they want to go to other Korean brands because they're very expensive, 2,000 rupees, they're giving a face wash. In our store, we are selling it for 299 and 399. So definitely end up buying it.
Yeah, cosmetics, I remember.
Yeah.
Once my wife bought some eye gel from that place. I'm like, what's happening here? So obviously, I don't know whether it was from your store, but I can believe that it was from there.
See,
okay?
I need to have my conviction. So almost I use everything from my store. Because
okay, cosmetics. Cosmetics who are neck pillow. What else?
Yeah. So, and there are different kind of stationeries. Very fancy stationery products.
Stationery.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Fancy stationery products which we sell, and it engages the customer buying very easily and quickly. And probably some of the toy segment, which are very cute and very differently designed. We've got toys in shape of pillows. We've got toys in shape of quills. We've got toys in shape, different kinds of shape. So toys is something that is very impulsive and very quick.
So I have a question on the toys.
Yes.
This again, I mean. Do customers buy it for their kids or are they buying it for themselves as adults also?
See, I think, I don't know what they use it, but they keep buying it. So I think it's for the kids only. Or they would want to gift it to someone.
Okay, how many of you bought toys from Mumuso before? Raise your hands. My next question, don't put your hands down, okay? Do you buy the toys only for the kids in the house or you're buying it for your own selves? Or for your girlfriends, boyfriends, adults in the house?
I think Valentine's gives us a very good business for toys.
See? Yeah, so thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so I mean, the point was to try and get to know what's happening with consumers. Sometimes you can entice customers to come in for items that they never knew they wanted. I think that's important for us to also learn from you. Interesting as far as that's concerned. Harsh, anything that you'd like to talk about consumers?
So consumer experience in food comes from tasting the product. So sampling is a very big or a major key factor for customers for an impulsive buying. Suppose if we are doing a sampling of any pickles or maybe a kasundi, which is for each specific product. So people, when they taste the product, they get the touch and feel. So it's an impulsive buying. They immediately take a decision whether they want to buy or not. And most of the consumers convert after buying, after the sampling. So that itself says that the sampling is the key factor, or maybe that experience which you give to the customer at that point. Because the customer comes with a mind frame of buying maybe many products, maybe a 10 or 15 SKUs or different categories they have to buy the product. But when they come to your category, so making them sure that they buy your product, getting them a taste of your product is what is the need of the hour. So whenever a customer tastes some product, he or she maybe gets dedicated, or maybe he or she converts in buying your product. So offline once they taste, so online also when they see your product. So they can connect with you that yes, I have tasted this product and the taste is set in their mind and they want to buy it again.
So do you also make an attempt to create sampling for customers who are buying online?
Yes, so we have different methods of sampling online also. If so, for a particular customer, if you want to give, suppose in a day, if you in a Blinkit or maybe on a Zepto, first 1,000 customers, you give them some of the samples. So it goes directly to their house. So that gives them a feeling, yes, we have got something. So they try those products. And once they try those products, if they like it, from the next time, they obviously tend to purchase it. So that sampling is a very big factor in our food industry.
Thank you so much. I think we've got some thoughts on sampling now. I don't know how each one of this is going to help you in your business, but I do know that if I was sitting, I'll take down loans. Because somebody is talking about creating goods for customers which you may never have thought as customers that you would need. She's talking about lots of experience. He's spoken about sampling. And now we go on to Girish and ask him, what are the various things that you are seeing with consumers?
Yeah, I think I will always give you a boring answer about payments, right? Like, so digital payments, I think that has really changed how customers shop, right? Offline or online. A few years back, right, like UPI was not there, right? People were dealing in cash. Now there is a massive digital payments adoption across the country. And what you will realize is, this actually pushes digitization on the side of the merchants as well. Because typically you wouldn't adopt digital payments as fast as what people have done if the customer demand is not there. So customer goes to the store and says, like, I don't have cash. I want to pay digital, right? Like, so pretty much every store, you will see a QR code. And we are seeing this at Amazon Pay because, right, like beyond UPI, if you have, like, for example, an Amazon Pay QR code, we can accept credit cards over there. So we have like more than 40 lakh customers with the ICICI card, which gives you 5% on Amazon, 2% on every offline store, plus additional offers, right? You have Amazon Pay Later, which gives you an instant credit in the offline store. So now people go to the store and say, like, do you accept UPI? Okay, that's great. Do you accept this card? And it need not be the ICICI card, it could be the HDFC card, like if you're buying a TV, right? You have the same offer as online. They will ask you that question. And what we are seeing is, the moment the merchant has taken that step to digitize himself or herself, they get like a significant conversion boost, right? Like sales jump as high as 20% if you have the affordability offerings in large stores. So I see a very clear digital payment shift. And I think you said, like, what are the actions people should take? I think if you adopt a payment solution, which gives you really good payment offers in your store, you will get an instant conversion. And I think the relationship is important. Just like you mentioned, the brand being present online and offline. For example, an Amazon Pay logo, if it's present online and offline in your store, you'll definitely see that boost your conversion. So I think, yeah, this selection, convenience, price part, I think selection, the brands, these people are the masters of it. But I think on the convenience and price axis, definitely there is a digital payments play over there.
Oh, that's interesting. In fact, I'm told that India is soon to be the largest digital payments economy in the world, right? That's one. But the second thing that you spoke about is slightly interesting. You spoke about customers coming into the store, picking up an item, paying through Amazon Pay, but also getting all the credit that's required. Is that the way it is? So if somebody goes into Rochita store and then they want to buy a pair of shoes or whatever, a bag, would they be able to make payment through Amazon Pay and get credit?
Absolutely, right? Like, so we have two kinds of solutions. One is a basic UPI QR. And then we have an added solution, which what we call as a smart store, where you can put the QR code, register with Amazon, and then actually accepts all the payment methods, which you also store on Amazon, right? The same checkout. And then what we also provide is, we provide like a store page where the customer can see all the payment offers. So we source offers from all the 50 plus banks and financial institution partners we have. And we make them available to all the offline stores. We also have more than 60 lakh people who have registered Pay Later, so they can pay with one click, get credit, right? Like, so we make all these affordability solutions available in the offline store if you sign up for that particular smart store offering from Amazon Pay.
Very interesting. For some of you, I mean, I did realize this just before Diwali when I was talking to some of our CDIT retailers, people who are selling consumer durables and electronic items. They said that 70% of their business comes from credit cards and credit, consumer credit. And that's what is really pushing their business. People are not buying 55-inch, they want 65-inch. People are thinking, can I buy a larger 2-ton AC rather than a 1-ton AC? All these kinds of shifts are happening predominantly because of credit. So if that is the way that business is going, and if you are giving consumer finance to people buying various kinds of products, that could push technically the business of any retailer if they are willing to get that kind of credit, right? Either pay later or overall credit, EMI for the next 8 months. In fact, one of the mobile phone retailers told me, Kumar, why do you even buy mobile phones at full price? Why don't you just take it as a EMI offer? It's much cheaper. So the EMI is cheaper. The EMI is cheaper than the full price payment. It's amazing. Okay, so we've got another very few minutes left with us. So I'll go on quickly to Sujit. Dr. Sujit, when it comes to medicines, right, people have this thing around trust. That is the biggest requirement there. What is it that you are seeing as changes in consumer attitudes as far as buying medicines is concerned?
Well, I'll talk firstly on data. India have close to 19.5 lakh mom and pop pharmacies. The structured retail pharmacies is less than 9,000. Now, you can clearly understand 19.5 lakh versus 9,000, so we are nowhere. I have close to around 700 stores all across the country, cut through across. So pre-COVID, when pharmacies were there was a lot of trend that people would bring their prescriptions, and the prescriptions have to be honored. So, for example, if there are 3 tablets, 2 syrups, exactly the same thing have to be honored. But trends have changed drastically post-COVID. Now, people know that, and I'm sure in this crowd we will have many people who have chronic ailments. If people are diabetic, cardiac, gastro, peds, they know easily their average medicine bill is close to around 5,500 per month. Now, when people can save money in that, along with awareness of getting very high quality medicines, consumers shifts. Now, that's the trend that we are seeing in the country. And this is the trend that is extremely deep across the country. It will take time for the country to get a complete conversion of this. So our motto is to ensure, when you look into the consumer experiences, is to ensure that the consumer saves as much as money as possible. So you actually reduce the ticket size of the consumer from what it is. Now the trend, what we also see is that younger generation, when they see that they're saving a lot of money, because we don't give discounts. Discounts is a bad way to run business. We operate on lower MRPs. When we see that consumers are saving money, when consumers see that they save money, they have a tendency to spend that money somewhere else in the store. We have close to 2,500 non-medicine SKUs, which are like OTCs, health supplements, skincare, body care, etc. We are extremely careful that consumers don't overspend. Now that's an oxymoron of retail. Usually retailers try to ensure the consumers spend more. For every single store of ours across the country, we have made it a mandate for the store in charges that talk to the consumer whether he really wants it or not. Overbuying is not a good habit. And there's a special incentive that we're working out. If you know how to save money for the end consumer, he actually brings in 2 more consumers. So that's what we are working, and that's really the great way how we should propagate all across the retail arena altogether.
Very, 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 very interesting. I'm sure there are lots of people who possibly want to look at it differently, because you've got to buy the medicines, but it's not bought out of love. It is bought because of fear, and because it's a need, it's a compulsion. And if you are able to save some money, if you are able to make sure that you don't waste, I think it's a very nice habit to develop, and thank you for that. Abhimanyu, your thoughts on consumers. What's happening?
So, I mean, because of online, what is happening is that consumers are seeking, the offline experience is getting more and more experiential, because if a version of the product can be availed online, there has to be a compelling need for them to step out of their houses, right? And that's why it's incumbent on brands to make their offline experience more experiential, right? For instance, and allows us as brands to access greater touch points. I mean, a delivery would have 2 touch points, the food and the packaging. Offline experience would have many touch points and allows us to actually project our brand and its ethos much more clearly. For instance, we are a brand which is called Rang De Basanti Dhaba. Now, Dhaba would always bring in images of unhygiene or something on those lines, right? So it's an opportunity to actually solve for it. So when we are designing our new stores, we opened up our kitchens, right? The customers can see the entire kitchen and see what's going on in there. If freshness is something that we want to talk about, we are working on a concept called Rang De Basanti Churnery, where we have the fresh paneer, the fresh butter churn right there, the fresh masala grinding happening right there, right? So we just bring the customer closer to the experience, right? And it allows us, and this feeds into our online in that sense, right? So customers are seeking more deeper offline experiences. I mean, there has to be a need for them to step out of the house, right? So yeah.
Oh, that's really great. I think this whole sense of freshness and the ability to really relook at their original thought of a particular place called dhaba coming back in a different, more hygienic form is quite interesting. I have always had one question about restaurants. If you were to show how to prepare a particular item to customers on a particular day, do you believe that it will decrease sales or it will increase your sales?
Do I believe what?
If you have to showcase how to create a particular, let's say that you create on Kali Dal, which very well, and you create one day when customers can come in and learn how to make Kali Dal. Will that increase your business or decrease your business?
I mean, it should not really. I mean, you again get customer closer to the experience. It depends on the kind of brand you are. McDonald's, I don't know if you guys, if you go to McDonald's, you can actually take a kitchen tour. It's part of their mandate where they'll take you inside the entire McDonald's. They'll show you how burgers are made, right? I think it just gets you closer to the experience. So I think it's a value additive than anything else. I think recipes are a really overblown aspect of restauranting. I think it's not about the best dal makhani, it's about the most consistent dal makhani in that sense. I mean, McDonald's doesn't sell the best burgers, but it sells the most consistent burgers, right? So I think that's where the game is really, yeah.
Oh, great. So when you create this experience, sign me on. Very nice. How many more willing to sign on? When you start showing how to prepare some food, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, बाकी लोगों को चूल्हा चक्की अच्छा ही नहीं लगता है. Okay. Anybody else on the panel who wants to go and experience it? One more. Okay, ठीक. We are at the, you've at least got 6 customers from here. Thank you so much. The last, I mean, I think we're otherwise running out of time. We'll ask Sudeep about this. What are you seeing with consumers?
I would say my consumers like...
For example,
yeah,
are customers still eating sweets?
Yeah.
They do.
Everybody is eating sweets. They just say that we don't eat. Everybody loves sweets. Even in colleges and schools, the students will love to eat sweets. The packets will just vanish off like in no time. So that is a hoax that people don't like to eat sweets or something like that. And in Bengalis never believe that sweets makes you diabetic, and that is actually not, not the reason. There are many reasons. Eating the whole day makes you diabetic. Okay. I would say that customer is now focusing on these occasions like Diwali, Durga Puja, and there's small occasions like Jamai Shoshti. Janmashtami was never a huge occasion for a Bengali sweet shop, but now it is. We have huge sale in Janmashtami. Shankranti, like Poush Parbon, it was nothing for us, but then we started making pithes. And pithes were a taboo in in Bengali household. Pithes are taboo. Only mothers and grandmothers would make pithes, and that also they have to take bath and clean themselves, and then they can prepare pithes. But then we started making pithes like Pati Shapta. Now we make 15 kinds of pithes, and now in Shankranti there is queue in my shops for pithes. So when I started pithes, other shops said that they can sell anything. They will sell mangshe chop also. But I never cared, and I never gave a heed. We broke many taboos. Like one of them was like girls and women of the household even were not allowed inside the kitchen or inside the cash counter. So now we are the biggest, I would say biggest, in our kitchen. Women employees, our chefs are women, and in all the shops are run by women managers, and so that taboo we have broken a long time ago. So that way, as per customer experience, what you asked me that now this whole sweet business is becoming more celebration and occasion centric. this year also Diwali, we have seen 25% hike in our sales to last
Wow.
year. Yeah.
So who said Diwali acha nahi tha yaar? Where are those retailers? There are some guys who called me up to tell Kumar, tum bada number dete ho. Business itna acha
So
nahi tha.
next year looking for Mio Amore and us both are looking for Christmas.
Thank you. How much time? Do we have any more time left with us, Asmita? No time at all. I did want to take some questions from the audience. Do we have one question availability? One? Anybody? Just one? Nahi hai to gaya abhi opportunity. Okay, gone. Thank you. So, thank you for being wonderful. I think there's so much that people have to now think about how to create experiences, and I do hope that it's been as enjoyable for all of you. Thank you so much.